Today, we're going to be talking about one of the best VTubing applications that you can get right now. Hey, if you're interested in VTubing or virtual production or just what I do in general, drop a like and subscribe, because once I hit 50,000 subscribers, I'll do a tour of my entire setup. This is VSeeFace. You can download it from their website, link in the description down below. What's really, really great about VSeeFace is that it's basically open source. It's made by a really small, dedicated team. You're amazing. Please keep doing what you're doing. And if you want to know more about the application, there's a lot of information on this website. Also, there's a list of tutorials and everything that you can find. Anything you need to know will be listed here as well. What we are going to be doing is we're going to be downloading the latest version. So I'm going to go ahead and click and download. And once it's finished downloading, you can go ahead and open up the zip file that you see here. I recommend just extracting it straight to your C drive, just like I am doing right now. If you already have VSeeFace installed, you might get this prompt. I'm just going to go ahead and say replace all the files, and the destination is basically just going to update with all of the new files. And then there you go. You have VSeeFace installed. So now open the VSeeFace folder and go ahead and double click VSeeFace. The very first time you open VSeeFace, you're going to have a step-by-step tutorial on basically how to get it working. Just like here, you can just click through. I would take some time to review this stuff, but basically it's saying how you can capture it in OBS and do some basic things. So now you should be at a screen like this. What you'll notice is here on the screen, you're gonna have a couple things. One is gonna be the website, your current version. Whenever VSeeFace needs an update, you're actually gonna see text right here in green telling you, hey, there is an update available for you. And if you don't have a avatar already loaded into here, you can use a default avatar that it comes with. So what you should do first is find your webcam and choose your camera quality. I recommend choosing the highest resolution and the highest frame rate that you have available to you. And then here you can also choose your microphone. So I'm going to choose these right here. You can also click recommended settings. I personally like to set these things manually, and you can go ahead and start from here. If you have your own model that you might have gotten from Booth or some other places, or you made your own in Vroid, you can go ahead and click add and add in your avatar. And you're going to see it appear with a thumbnail like this. Once you click on it, you should see some information about your model pop up, and you might be able to see a 3D preview of your model as well. One thing I also like to note, when you're looking at tracking quality settings, high quality I do recommend. There's also the wink support, which we're also just going to enable as well. And go ahead and get started with your model. Now, after selecting your model, you should see that now your webcam should be activated and your model should be able to move side to side. And when you speak into your microphone, your lips are going to be moving. By chance, whenever you're moving your avatar around, and if you ever get set in a weird way, you can always hit the reset button. If you ever want to mirror your motion, basically just making it reverse of whatever you do, you can hit the mirror motion as well. So like here's an example, head side to side. And then if you ever need help or would like to see the documentation that you saw in the beginning, you can always hit this help button right here, and you can go through the tutorial all over again. And here is some important information in terms of hotkeys when you go to the help section. So when it comes down to movement, smoothing, and movement range, I generally like to keep these on the default settings. So that's generally what I do, but you can adjust the sliders for them a little bit as well. Now, what's actually a brand new feature here is the prop section, where you can add props. So all you got to do is just add. In this case, you find a image. So I'm just going to grab a logo mask like this. And I just choose where I want it to be on my model, and just like that, it'll automatically attach to one of the bones. Oh, you can even add GIFs to your face as well. Oh, that's so cool. You can also adjust the individual distance from your avatar using some of the settings right here. You can change some of the smoothing. You can also make it so that they're always on top or not. You can add more than one. Oh, so exciting. And that's how you basically add props. And here I'm gonna just change the distance to my avatar to be like right there. Just like that, and boom, we added some props, which is super cool. This also supports transparent PNGs. So that means if you go on the internet and you get like glasses, transparent. And then here's a handy little tip. If you go to tools and you go to color, you can type transparent, and that should help you find better transparent PNGs. So I'm just going like this and save image as, save it on my desktop. And let's go ahead and add that. Once you have your, if you want to get rid of any of the props, all you got to do is just click on the prop and you'll see some options right here. So the mouse wheel to change the size while you're holding it, just like that. And I'm just going to put these on top of my actual glasses. Wow, now I have glasses. I can change the distance from my avatar to be like this. So look, I have glasses on glasses. Isn't that cool? And then I can press X to mirror or modify it vertically, just like this. These are glasses that are the same on each side. You can't really tell the difference. If you middle click your mouse icon, it'll always be on top. I'm not sure if I always want to be on top. And then if you press the delete button while holding it down, it'll also delete the prop for you as well. And this is like one of the nicest new features of VSeeFace that you have out there. Easy way to customize your model. Now we're going to go to the settings and we're going to start with the general settings. It's very easy to be overwhelmed with the just sheer amount of stuff that you see in this general settings menu. I'm just going to tell you, most of you do not need to touch most of the things in here. I would recommend at one point just taking some time and playing with any of the settings just to see if you can get any more customization that you would like for how your model will be used in VSeeFace. And if you're ever worried about doing some irreparable changes, all you got to do is just do a factory reset, and it's just like you start from fresh. For the most part, the most important settings that you're going to see available is going to be the expression detection that you're going to see here, like the simple experimental that you can see right here, where we can set up the different faces. So let's say like angry, but I'm just going to leave the expression detection at none. Here are the graphic settings. This is basically like how big the window is going to be. Like I just changed it to 1080p. Here's the quality. If you're finding that VSeeFace is using too much of your computer resources, you can turn some of these things down. And what I super also recommend is capping the frame rate as well, because sometimes that can get super out of control. Here is another new feature called the Spout image capture support. Basically, what this allows you to do is it allows you to send the VSeeFace information over the network to OBS, straight to OBS. This is actually the most handy for VTubers who have a dual PC setup and you have a streaming computer. You want to be able to have your VSeeFace data easily be sent over to your streaming computer without requiring a capture card. We're actually going to take a moment to set this up. So all you got to do is just click the help icon, just like this, and then install the Spout OBS plugin right here. I'm just going to go ahead and click install. If you get this notification, go ahead and install it. It'll be okay. If you get a virus, it's not my fault. And don't mind those extra crypto coins and NFTs. And just like that, we have Spout installed. So I'm going to go ahead and open OBS. So now that we have OBS open with the new image capture source, you're going to click here, the plus icon, and add a Spout capture source. In VSeeFace, we're going to check Spout image capture support. And then back here, you can see that the Spout image capture source is already here. Now that you have the Spout image capture in OBS, you can have some settings right here. So for example, we're going to have it as pre-multiplied alpha, just like that. And then we have our transparent screen being captured in OBS, just like this. Pretty cool. And that is the Spout image capture. Super handy, awesome addition to VSeeFace. Lots of use cases for this. But if you don't want to use Spout and you just want to use it if you have a single PC setup, you might not actually need the Spout image capture support. You can just capture VSeeFace just like I did in this video that you see appearing right here. Here you'll have the option to modify your webcam and microphone again. Here is a virtual camera that you can enable. And that's basically by turning this on, what you're going to see is you're going to see this option here. You can install the virtual camera, and then you can also choose a background to load. What's going to happen is that VSeeFace will now activate like a webcam. So you'll be able to use this in like Zoom or Discord or other things You just got to make sure that each time you open VSeeFace, you just have to click to enable virtual camera for this session. Now we're just going to skip down to the bottom for a quick moment, and I'm just going to tell you that there's a lot of checkboxes and settings that you see here. Of all of my time using VSeeFace, I pretty much almost never had to change any of these settings. So for the most part, you don't need to be worrying about these settings. Let's go back to here for eye facial mocap and OSC VMC protocol. If you're not sure what VMC protocol is, it's basically a motion capture language that can be operated through the network or on the same computer. And you can use this to bring in your facial tracking data with Waidayo or virtual motion capture, both of which are videos that I have covered before, which you'll be seeing linked right here. And in both of those videos, I actually cover how to bring in those specific applications into VSeeFace as well. I also did a separate video dedicated to how to get iPhone facial tracking in VSeeFace, which uses the VMC protocol. For the most part, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be checking the OSC receiver option that you're seeing right here. You're going to be making sure you can select the LAN IP. So this is my local IP address that you can see right here. So you can make sure that you are sending it to the same IP address. Here is the port number. Make sure you have this port open if you're using more than one computer. And then here you're going to see a bunch of checkboxes. So here we're basically relying on the external motion capture being sent in for all the movement in VSeeFace. The only thing that is being tracked right now is the expression toggles. So like when you press a hotkey, it makes something happen. Like if I press the hotkey for joy, it makes me smile. Like that. Here you can pick and choose what things that you want to be tracked. Just keep in mind that if you end up checking everything, you actually don't need to have this on because you're not receiving anything because VSeeFace is actually overriding it. So whatever is not checked is what's going to be received by VSeeFace. Another thing that you can do is all of the motion capture information that is either coming into VSeeFace or being created by VSeeFace, like with the webcam and the shape keys from the mouth right now, you can actually send it to other applications. You can send it to virtual motion capture. You can send it to another thing at VSeeFace or your own VTubing application, which some videos should pop up for right here, or they'll be linked in the description down below. You can also set up a secondary receiver in case you have two different things that you want to receive at the same time. So for example, in case that you have two separate VMC protocol things that you want to have sent into your avatar at the same time. This part here is for eye facial motion capture. Now, eye facial motion capture information can also be sent out with the send data function that you see here. This is basically how you can send it out. So you just need the IP address and then the port number. If you are using the OSC receiver, make sure that these two port numbers are different or else you're going to have some conflicting problems. So what you could do is just change it to be 1 up, just like this, 40, and then there is no more conflict. I've personally found that you never really have to change the T-pose, simulate, or disable packet bundling options. Here with eye facial mocap, basically this is how you can send in your facial tracked information from eye facial mocap on your iPhone with Face ID into VSeeFace. Once you open eye facial mocap, their tutorial is pretty straightforward. It gives you the phone's IP address. As soon as you enter your phone's IP address and on your phone, you enter your computer's IP address, you should be able to link them together and your iPhone facial tracking should start working. So what's really cool about the eye facial mocap system is that you actually don't need to have a webcam at all because you can actually have the head movement data be recorded from your iPhone into VSeeFace. Now, personally, I prefer using the webcam for the body movement, using the iPhone only for facial tracking. So that was my personal recommended setup for that. Let's go back to the settings. And here you can see some of your expression settings. And then here in your expression settings, this is basically where you're going to be setting your toggles, your hotkeys of different things that you want to do. I have this one called the big brain mode. So here you click on the hotkey and click on the none if none is assigned. If you have one already assigned, you can change it. But here I'm going to click on the hotkey none. And then I'm just going to press, let's say, the space bar. Boop. just like this, and it'll say assign big brain to spacebar. So when I press the spacebar, we enter big brain mode, just like that. So right now it's set to a toggle. So that means I press it to activate it, and I press it to disable it. And if I want to change it so that I have to hold the button down, then you can go just like this, and it only activates when you have it held down. So there's two other things that you can add if you want to enable eye blinking as well, because sometimes those things will mess up your expression. But here is where you're going to find all of the expressions for all of your models, and you can set them up to hotkeys. Personally, I would really recommend getting something called a Stream Deck, because what's really cool with a Stream Deck is you'll be able to actually set some of these keys to the F13 to 24 binds, meaning you can use your Stream Deck to activate keys that you would normally not be able to activate with a normal keyboard. And that also means that it won't any of these hotkeys that you use will not interrupt any gameplay or anything else that you may be doing while you are streaming. If you would like a video on Stream Deck tips for VTubers, just let me know in the description down below. Next in the settings, you can click on the light option. Basically, this is pretty straightforward. You can change the color of the lighting in the world. You can also change by holding control. You can change the direction of the lighting by moving your mouse. And then you can also change the ambient lighting that you have as well, if you wanted to do that. But I like to leave most of the stuff at default. You can choose on how you want to actually do these things. And these are the lighting settings. This is really up to you to play with the lighting that you would like to get. And the same thing comes for our very next feature, which is the effects feature, where you can apply a bunch of cool different effects to your model that you might see right here. Some of these effects that you might have seen some of your other favorite VTubers use as well. There are basically all the effects activated at once. I don't believe there is a way to hotkey any of these effects. These are things I believe you have to activate manually. It'd be really cool if you could activate these by hotkeys. That'd be super cool. But just keep in mind that adding all of these extra effects will contribute to more computer resources being consumed. And finally is the leap motion settings. This is how you can get hand tracking for your model in VSeeFace without using anything like virtual motion capture protocol. So I'll actually have a link for a leap motion list linked in the description down below, and what I actually recommend using as a leap motion mount. And what I actually do is on the bottom of the leap motion, I put a little bit of Velcro, and that's how I attach it to the neck ring mount. And I'm going to be linking in the description down below. Now, this is a different computer for me, so I actually haven't installed my Leap Motion yet. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to go to the Leap Motion website. I'm going to have the link for this in the description down below, and we're going to go ahead and download it. The Leap Motion Gemini. You might need to make an account. And once you're logged in, just agree to make sure you read the terms of service and go ahead and agree to it, accept, and you are downloading it. And we're gonna go ahead and install it. Go ahead and click through. So once you have it installed, your Leap Motion should be plugged in. And once it's plugged in, you should see some red lights appearing on your Leap Motion. So we're gonna go ahead now and open VSeeFace. With our Leap Motion plugged in, select our avatar, go ahead and start. One thing you're gonna do is, depending on where you actually mount your Leap Motion, you wanna match the position of where it is on your model. So you can hold down the Alt button and click on the screen and move it around so you can help with the orientation of it right here. Personally, I have mine mounted on my chest, like right here. You can zoom out by using the scroll wheel button just to see where it is. And you want to put it in the approximate location of where your actual Leap Motion is located. What you will notice is that if your Leap Motion goes into your body, like we have it partially going into our body right here, you'll actually see that's actually going into your model. It's not really something that you would want. So I actually have my Leap Motion about right here, and then it's actually forward a bit, be about right here, like this, and then it's actually rotated downwards like that. And that's basically how you can get the optimal Leap Motion settings. Once you have your Leap Motion set up, it should automatically start tracking your hands. Now, what you might be noticing is that my Leap Motion tracking is actually not that good compared to what you're seeing on my screen. The Leap Motion cameras really require to be able to see your bare hands and not be obstructed with any view of wires. So if you have a lot of wires or straight lines or cables or anything like that, that can interfere with the leap motion hand tracking. So that's what you're seeing on the screen right now. So what I would recommend is if you are having hand tracking problems, to basically just try to get rid of any wires or cables that might be situated around your hands. And if you're wearing any gloves, to also take those off as well. That's basically all you need to know about how to set up VSeeFace. If you have any questions, you can join our Discord community. You can leave a comment down below, or you can check out my newly created Reddit, r/Fofamit. See you next time, and thank you so much to all of my patrons on Patreon. Without your help, basically, I couldn't do what I do, so thank you so much. Bye-bye!